Going into camp, I was running with the ones and playing free safety. And, one play during a game scrimmage, I came down to tackle our starting running back, and I ended up getting, a catastrophic injury that would end my career. My name is Anthony Lotti. I'm a football player. I started my career here at Freehold Pop Warner, played at Freehold Township High School, and I was blessed enough to receive an offer to play at the University of Pennsylvania. Played free safety there, and my career was ended by an injury. And here's my story.
He's going to go all the way for a Freehold touchdown.
So my family life was great. I had a very great support system. My parents were very supportive of my dreams. They were able to get me into the right people's hands with training and nutrition and studying. My dad helped me become the best football player and the best man I could be. My mom was always there for me, being that rock for me. My brother would always work out with me too, and my sister, being a Division I athlete, motivated me as well. And, we all had a similar work ethic. We all had a similar drive, and, being part of that family unit was huge for me. So growing up, I played, I try to play as many sports as I can just because, I love being active. I love being an athlete. Grew up, played baseball, played basketball, played football, ran track. So I started playing football when I was 5. Obviously you can't play contact football at that point, so just playing flag. And we had our team assembled. I had my coach, Dean Ferdinandi, and my dad, and Rick Krause, and Roger Patton, and plenty of other people. We got together and we wanted to form a team. And we had 2 separate teams, but we were able to form it into one team. Ended up going 33-3 over 3 years, outscoring our opponents 256-38. A lot of great players, a bunch of all-shore, all-conference players in high school, all-division players. You have guys like Ashanti Worthy, who broke a bunch of New Jersey records. Being able to play alongside him was, one of the greatest blessings I could have asked for, because he was more talented than me, admittedly. And, we were the 1-2 punch out of the backfield. We were the guys scoring touchdowns, making all the plays, but that kind of gave me that drive and that motivation. So, we had a very successful team, and, being able to be a part of that success and being with a team who worked very hard at a really young age, kind of set up my mindset going forward. Well, going to 8th grade, I didn't really know where I wanted to go to high school. I knew I had dreams of playing Division I football and playing in the NFL. So I looked at schools like Red Bank Catholic, St. Peter's, Don Bosco, even Colts Neck, because Colts Neck at that point, they were in their heyday. And eventually I made the decision to play football at Freehold Township. Because after having a conversation with my brother, there's nothing really like playing for your hometown team. And I wanted to be the guy who could take Township to the next level and make them a playoff team and make them a winning team, because they haven't had that in a long time. Be a standout there. So going into high school, that was kind of my mindset. And, when I got there freshman year, day one, I was immediately pulled up to JV. Eventually, getting into camp, I was playing in scout team basically against the varsity kids, and I was able to play defense against, the star senior wide receivers and pick off the starting quarterback on varsity. And that's when the coaches took notice of me. And, by week 3, I was starting at corner for Freehold Township on varsity as a freshman. And I was the first one to do that in school history.
Pass down the near sideline is intercepted! Anthony Lotti!
My first start was actually against Colts Neck High School. We were playing at Colts Neck, and they were coming off, a great season. They made the playoffs that year, made it very far. And, they had a 6'4", 240-pound running back in Anthony Gargiulo, who ended up playing fullback at the Naval Academy. And I was some scrawny 5'10", 160-pound corner freshman, relied on to tackle this kid. And my very first tackle, I tried diving at his knees because he was so much bigger than me, I couldn't face him head on. And he threw me into the ground, and I didn't make the tackle. And that was kind of my welcome to varsity football moment. And then from there on, I promised myself that would never happen to me again. And, from there on in, I worked on my tackling. Guys were significantly bigger than me because I knew I was going to be facing that in college and, so on. So, I had to make sure that was never going to happen again. keep working on my techniques, keep working on the fundamentals, and keep learning from experiences like that. Back in freshman year, playing corner, I finished the year with 2 interceptions. I was third on the team in tackles. And, the coaches and my parents, we kind of sat down and had a discussion of, where I could play college football. And, they had all the faith in me that I could play Division I football and, play on the defensive side of the ball. So that's when my training started really ramping up at that point. I started seeing Parisi Speed School, working on getting faster, getting stronger, getting bigger, and really developing as an athlete. And I wanted to be as dominant as possible. So, I really worked on my craft and really worked on getting my 40 down, getting my vertical up, getting my combine numbers up, and being able to work on my technique as a defensive back because it's such a technician and craft position. And, going to camps and showing coaches, how they could play and matching up with these receivers. I didn't get the offers freshman year. They didn't come in yet. But sophomore year, I came in, I improved as a player. I got bigger, I got stronger, I got faster. And that's, when schools kind of started taking notice of me. So sophomore to junior year was a very interesting transition, not only for me, but for Real Township football as a whole, because, our one coach left prior to that, Mike D'Antonio. We brought in Corey Davies, who is a renowned coach in the short conference and a state championship winner. So we had very high hopes for the season, and we knew that he brought in that air raid West Coast offense. We're going to be throwing around the ball a lot, which really played to my strengths personally as a player because I'm a wide receiver, on the offensive side of the ball. That year, I led the team in tackles. I was third in the shore in tackles. Even while missing a game, I had 115 tackles in the year, 2 interceptions, a couple forced fumbles along the way. And, we were lucky enough to make it to the state playoffs. It was the first time in about a couple decades that Real Township was able to make it. And we lost 14-7 on the 7-yard line in the last play. And that really stuck with me for a while. And, it was that anger and that spite that I had that we lost. And I hate losing them more than I like winning. So it really fueled me in the offseason to keep going harder and keep grinding because I didn't want that to happen again for my senior season. But, that's when the accolades started racking up a little bit and I started seeing the recognition that I quite frankly felt like I deserved by the way I was playing and the way I was working. I was able to be named first team All-Shore that year as a safety, first team All-State Group 5 as a free safety, and then first team All-A North as a free safety. And I began to grow very frustrated about, where I was as a recruit because, I was All-State, I was All-Conference, I was All-Division, I was leading the conference in tackles, I felt like my film was good, and I was watching other players who were getting these offers, and I was wondering why I wasn't getting the same recognition. So I was very frustrated, and, the frustration started really building up, and I started really getting frustrated and wondering, am I good enough to make it? Am I good enough to really take it to the next level and play Division I college football like I always sought out for myself? I started going really down on myself. I really didn't know if I was good enough to make it. And then I got invited to the Nike Spark Combine, which is 500 of the top players in the region get invited, and they time your 40, your vertical, your broad jump, your 5-10-5 shuttle. And I was able to post a score that was top 10 in the country and number 1 for my position in the entire country. And that's when schools started taking me a little bit more seriously because they saw, my 40 time and my vertical, my broad jump started matching the film that I was putting out. So that's when I had schools start visiting me at school. I had coaches come and visit me and talk to me about offering me. And then eventually, I went to Temple. I was able to go one-on-ones against their top recruits there and, go against some of their players. And, eventually I was lucky enough to get my first offer from Temple. Lucky enough to get 12 Division I offers from FBS and FCS schools. And, I was really leaning towards some schools one day, leaning towards some another, and I really had no idea. But then the Ivies started knocking, and I got offered by Penn, I got offered by Cornell, I got offered by Dartmouth, I got offered by Yale. And that's when I realized that this would probably be the right move for me because it's very rare that you can use football to get into an Ivy League institution. And when I visited Penn, I saw Coach Ray Priori and Coach Bob Benson, who's the D coordinator there, and I ended up falling in love with the campus. I love the guys there, I love the campus, I love the football program, I love the school, and eventually a week after they offered me, I just pulled the trigger. And my dad always told me to use football to get into the best school possible, and that's what I tried to do. Yeah, so senior season was really incredible for me and as a team and as our school in general because Real Township was never really that successful in football, never really had a winning program, never really had a winning pedigree. And, my senior year, we were able to turn that around. And I'm very proud of that. We went 7-1. We were top 10 in the shore all throughout the regular season.
My name is Anthony Lotti from Real Township High School. I'm a defensive back, and I was nominated to the All-Zone team as a defensive back.
And we were able to make it to the state playoffs. We lost in the first game, but, I was very proud that we were able to kind of have that turnaround. It was very different seeing the student body and seeing teachers and seeing the team be excited about football and seeing that we were a football school and seeing people want to go to the game. Friel Township has had success after I've left, and I'm very proud of those people. So, my legacy that I want to know as Friel Township is I want to be a part of the change. Being able to be a part of that is something I'm most proud of in my high school career. Ending high school football is never easy. You think it's going to last forever, and then that last game hits and you realize, damn, it's really over. I knew college football was not going to be easy. I knew the pedigree that Penn had of being Ivy League champions and one of the best teams in the Ivy League, and I knew the players that they had there. And I knew that it wasn't going to be easy like high school football. I had to go in there, compete, and I was going to be the little fish in the big sea. And, I really took my training to the next level after my senior season. I got bigger, I got stronger, I got faster, and I really wanted to become, going from a great high school football player to becoming a great Division I college football player. And I was really able to hone in my training and hone in on my craft with Ryan Clark at RC Performance Training. He was able to help me propel me and get me ready for Division I college football. And I'm more than thankful for that. Going into college is never easy to transition. You're homesick, you miss your friends, you're with kids you don't know. And, being at Penn, you have to face that Ivy League academic rigor too, as well as playing Division I college football. So you get the best of both worlds in one sense, but it's also very hard in another sense. You really have to apply yourself, buckle down and focus. And that's something I really struggled with in the beginning because senior year, focused on college, you're focused on getting out of high school, and then you jump into an Ivy League institution with Division I football, and it kind of hits you like a pile of bricks. And, I'm kind of happy I had that transition. It was kind of a wake-up call for me that I really had to apply myself, both on the football field and in the classroom. And that was something that I really used freshman year for. So going into college football was definitely a wake-up call for me because my whole life I was so used to being, the star football player and kind of having it easy and being able to walk in and be a starter. But college football, it's not like that because every other kid on the roster is like that, and they grew up the same way. So you have to compete with those kids, and you're competing with some of the best football players in the country. I started out freshman year, I was third string, and I stayed there. Didn't really get any snaps my freshman year. It sucked, but I learned that nothing comes easy. Nothing's going to get handed to you. If you want something, you got to work for it. I had to take my training again to the next level, really push it harder, and really focus. If I really wanted to start at the school and really be a contributor to this team and be a star of this team, I had to keep working, and I couldn't be complacent. And, freshman year, I was able to go from third string in spring ball, go to first string, and become a starter, really learn the playbook, and that was the challenge itself, was learning the playbook. The Ivy League academics, they weren't too bad in the beginning. They kind of got the best of me at times, but, you learn. It's just like any other school. You learn how to, study. You learn what works best for you. You learn what classes you can excel in. Eventually you get the hang of it, just like anything else. Freshman year into sophomore year, really training. I focused my entire summer dedicated to training for football and getting ready for my sophomore season. I felt, more prepared than ever. Cutting my body fat percentage down, getting faster, getting stronger, getting bigger, being able to put myself in a position to compete, watching film and studying the playbook and doing everything I need to do and focusing on the attention to detail in order to be successful. Going into camp, I was running with the ones and playing free safety. And, one play during a game scrimmage, I came down to tackle our starting running back and I ended up getting, a catastrophic injury that would end my career. I tore my labrum, tore my rotator cuff, had a grade 3 separation of my AC joint, shattered my scapula, and got nerve damage in my neck. And, I had a 3-hour shoulder reconstruction surgery about a month later, 8-month rehab. I came into spring ball and, I started experiencing numbness and tingling in my arm. And that's when I realized that, I can't play football anymore. And that was something that was really hard for me to deal with. Having an injury take away your career is never easy. It's never easy to walk away from a game that you love and you were so passionate about and you worked so hard at. It took a toll on me mentally. I definitely was not in a good mental state of mind. I think it was definitely the hardest thing I ever to go through. I went to go seek therapy and seek counseling because I was in a really bad place. I wasn't handling my academics the way I should have been, and I wasn't handling the injury well mentally. And, the hardest part about the injury was more mental than physical. But, thank God I went through that because it really taught me so much. It taught me about perseverance and, being able to put myself first at times, and that's okay, and opening up about my mental health and being able to get better physically and get better mentally, put myself in a happier position. And looking back on that, like I said, I'm very thankful to have gone through that because although it did suck at the time, I learned so much going through that adversity and really having to pull myself out of the ashes, to get myself to where I am today. Yeah, so football has always been something that I love, and I love being around football. Just because I got hurt and just because I'm not a player anymore doesn't mean I don't have that same drive and passion about the sport. I love watching it. I love being around it. I love helping people. And, Coach Priori and Coach Benson, they still want me to be a part of the team and asked if I wanted to be a student assistant. And I jumped at the opportunity. So, anything the coaches need me to do, I help them out. I run some drills. I help out with the young guys, help them watch film. I help them, schemes. I help them look for things because I've been in the system a little bit longer. So I'm able to help them and tutor them a little bit. So, being able to be a part of the team, being able to be in the locker room with the guys, and, still feeling I'm part of that family, I mean, it's huge for me. And, I think they made me feel very accepted. Everybody's very understanding of my situation, and, I'm in a great position right now. So right when I came to Penn as a freshman, everybody enlists in a bone marrow drive called Be the Match, and it's where they take a couple swabs of your mouth and you send it in, and then you kind of don't think about it after that because they say it's a less than 1% chance you even get a call back. 18 months later, we did that drive in January 2018, and 18 months later, I was sitting in the library studying for finals, and I got a call from Be the Match saying I matched with a 37-year-old mom with leukemia, and they wanted me to undergo further testing. So I took about 7 or 8 hospital visits after that, had to get some blood work done to make sure that I was ready to go, got some injections, some hormones to make sure I was ready to do the transplant. And then on July 24, 2019, I went into Hackensack Medical Center, went under an anesthesia, did a 3-hour surgery, and was able to donate my bone marrow to a mother with leukemia. So, back, when I got injured in football, I kind of lost, my passion and my drive, and I stopped going to class. I didn't want to hang out with my friends. I didn't really want to talk to anybody. I was such in a deep hole that I knew I had to get help for myself and, pull myself out of this. And, I kind of felt purposefulness because, everybody when they see me, the first thing they always ask is, how's football going? And, I identified myself as a football player, and I kind of lost that identity and didn't know who I really was and felt like I lacked a purpose at that point. I was really down on myself, and, being able to do the bone marrow transplant, it gave me that second hope because, it showed me that I'm more than just a football player, and, I can do other great things that doesn't involve the football field. And something that my dad really said to me, has really stood out to me, football brought a lot of great things for you, but the biggest impact you made was off the football field in a way that being on a football field never could. Being able to be a part of the Penn football family and doing the Be the Match program and being able to do the bone marrow transplant, I mean, it really gave me optimism at that point, seeing things in a different perspective because, God forbid, I could be on the other end of that bone marrow transplant, or somebody that I love could be on the other end of that bone marrow transplant. And, being able to be the donor in that perspective really gave me, a sense of happiness and sense of purpose for myself, that I'm meant for bigger and better things. So a few months go by, and it's November, my junior year, and Coach Priori tells me that I have an interview for Be the Match and to talk about my experiences and, to get people involved. And, I was fully set on going to talk about Be the Match and talking about my experiences. And, I go into the coach's office, I sit down, and, I'm looking at the screen, and no one's sitting there yet. And then my coach says, okay, first interview is about to come out.
So if we can get the first interviewer, the first questionnaire to come on in, we'd appreciate it. These guys are ready to go here.
Good morning. Hey guys, I'm Roger Goodell. How are you?
And Roger Goodell sits down, and immediately my mind is blown because I'm thinking, why is the commissioner of the NFL talking to me? And we start having a conversation.
Hi, Mr. Goodell.
How's it going, Mr. Goodell?
You guys weren't expecting me?
No, it's not.
No, not at all.
I'm not here to interview you guys. What you guys did with the bone marrow transplant is pretty awesome. And
Thank you.
Thank you. Appreciate that.
Thank you.
We like to think the football players lead, and you guys are good examples of that. So today I wanted to just share something with you. Somebody's going to hand something to you, but you see this right here? I'm holding this.
Yeah.
What that says right there, guys, is you two are going to Super Bowl 54.
No.
Are you kidding?
Way.
Because you guys deserve it. Because you guys were unselfish, and you guys did really something special. So,
Thank you so much, Mr. Goodell. This is awesome. Thank you.
well, you guys deserve it. Yeah, seriously, what you guys did was really incredible. So, congratulations to you, and thank you for being leaders.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome. And I'll see you in Miami. All right.
All right, sounds good.
Awesome.
See you there,
Thank you.
guys.
Thank you.
And he tells me he heard about the bone marrow transplant. He thought it was awesome, and eventually he presented me and my friend Sam Philippi, who also did a transplant. He gave us 2 free tickets to the Super Bowl, and that was something that really made my day and even my year at that point, because going to the Super Bowl is such an incredible experience. Getting free tickets to the Super Bowl is a once-in-a-lifetime experience, and going to see the Chiefs and 49ers play was awesome in Miami. And the first quarter rolls around, and Goodell invites us into his suite, and we were able to go into his suite, and we were able to meet Jeff Bezos and Lizzo and Keegan-Michael Key and Miles Teller and Chris Berman, and talk to Goodell. And I mean, it was one of those things that it doesn't even seem real talking about it, because it was just such an incredible experience that I'll probably never be able to experience again, honestly. But I'm so thankful for it. I was so happy that the NFL and Roger Goodell were able to reach out to me and provide me with an experience like that, because it was something that I'm so blessed for, and I couldn't be more thankful for it. I mean, I'm so grateful for football. I mean, it's provided me so many great memories in my life. You know, even this chapter of my book is closed. I mean, I have so many great memories to go back on, you know, having my family in the stands and touchdowns scored. And it's not even about that, really. It's just about the guys that I played with. You know, I had so many great teammates over the years that I created so many bonds with and friendships with that are really going to last forever. I mean, the guys that played with my Pop Warner team and my high school team, you know, I'm still in contact with them to this day. And, you know, the coaches I had, you know, I still look at them as role models and will still go to them for advice if I need to. And just having them in my corner is huge. And, you know, being able to create those bonds with people is incredible. And being able to have some of those memories of some plays that I made or some plays that my teammates made and some of those big wins, I mean, there's something, you can't replace that. And those are things I can look back at fondly and know that, you know, I'm very grateful for that. And looking back at my personal experiences, I have absolutely no regrets. I mean, looking back on it, you know, I had a lot of time to reflect after the injury, and, you know, I gave it everything I had. I mean, every ounce of energy that I had towards football I gave when it came to training, weightlifting, you know, working on my position and technique and watching film and studying the playbook and eating right. I mean, I really did everything possible to the best that I could be. And, you know, I look back and think I couldn't have done anything more, and I'm more than blessed to be where I'm at today. As far as football goes, it taught me so many things. You know, number one is being accountable. You know, you have to show up to practice on time, show up to meetings on time, and be able to be relied on by your teammates because they're going to need you. Football's not one of those sports where you can have one guy and count on him to make plays. You know, it's 11 guys coming together in unison, doing their job and executing and making plays. And, you know, they rely on you for that. And, you know, being responsible and taking accountability for yourself. And, you know, it's something that physically wears you down, it mentally wears you down. And that's going to happen in life sometimes. You know, I already see challenges outside of football, you know, when it comes to trying to get a job and, you know, trying to find a place in the workforce. You know, I'm starting to see some of that adversity now. And, you know, I'm taking the lessons that I learned from football about rejection, about not getting offers. So all of those lessons that I learned in football, you know, they come into my normal life every single day. And I'm so blessed to, you know, once call myself a football player and still always be a football player at heart.